Washington Times front page for Thursday, December 29th, 2022. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. Russian President Vladimir Putin has announced a ban on oil exports to the United States and other Western nations that recently imposed a price cap on Russian oil as a punishment for the invasion of Ukraine. Guy Taylor reports a Kremlin statement announcing the ban said Putin had signed it in response to the unfriendly actions taken by the United States, other foreign states, and international organizations that sided with them to establish a price cap on Russian oil. The Group of Seven Forum of Wealthy Western Powers, along with Australia and the European Union, issued a $60 per barrel price cap in early December on Russian crude moving around the world. The cap is close to the current price for Russian oil, but well beneath the windfall price Russia was able to sell the oil for earlier this year. Immigration and Customs Enforcement deported 28 military veterans in the past 3 years, according to agency data provided to our Stephen Dinan that suggests it's not as big of a problem that some of the agency's critics have claimed. ICE said it deported 8 veterans in fiscal year 2022, 11 in 2021, and 9 in 2020. That works out to less than 1 in every 10,000 deportations. Some lawmakers cast doubt on the Department of Homeland Security's numbers, as did a 2019 report by the Government Accountability Office. It said the agency does not have reasonable assurance that it is flagging all deportation cases that involve veterans. The number of cars stolen nationwide this year is expected to surpass 1 million for the first time, breaking previous records and leaving law enforcement struggling to keep up. Jeff Murdoch reports more than 745,000 vehicles were stolen across the country through the first 9 months of this year, according to data from the National Insurance Crime Bureau. That's the most stolen during the first 9 months of a year since 2008, and a 24% increase over pre-pandemic levels. The Bureau estimates the value of vehicles stolen this year exceeds $6.6 billion. Auto thefts in Denver are up 15% from the same period last year and surged 178% compared to 2019 and 80% compared to 2020. In New York City, car thefts surged 32% year over year through December 11th, and the rate in Chicago is up by roughly 100% through the first 50 weeks of the year, with 19,784 cars stolen compared to 9,933 through the same period last year. You can read all of these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. You can also find the entire lineup of Washington Times podcasts at WashingtonTimes.com/podcasts. The Chosen has become a hit. Mark Kellner reports the series offers what one critic calls plausible fiction to flesh out the New Testament accounts of Jesus and his 12 disciples. Along traditional depictions of biblical events, viewers of the series' third season get a scene showing the relationship between former tax collector Matthew and his father being ruptured and later restored, among other dramatic liberties that are taken. Now in its third season, series creator Dallas Jenkins has stated a goal of producing 7 seasons of 8 episodes each. And finally, convicted January 6th insurrectionist and founder of the far-right Oath Keepers militia Stuart Rhodes talked from jail about his case with our Joseph Clark. Rhodes was convicted of seditious conspiracy in November, one of 11 members of his group charged with that crime by the Justice Department due to their actions in the U.S. Capitol riot. Prosecutors said the group coordinated travel to Washington with the intent of interrupting the peaceful transfer of power following the 2020 presidential election. Seditious conspiracy, a felony that carries a sentence of up to 20 years in prison, is the most serious charge against the nearly 800 people prosecuted in connection with the Capitol riot. Rhodes plans to appeal. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in any major podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo, wishing you and yours a healthy and happy New Year.